Hello, church family. I appreciate your being willing to serve on the altar guild for our church. Communion actually is a sacrament that's been part of the church ever since the Lord's Supper, and Jesus instituted that with his disciples. We've continued the tradition. And here at the church, we have a decision made years ago that can always be changed, that we would serve communion on the first Sunday of every quarter. And so that would be January, July, October. Let's see, did I leave one out? July, I said January, April, July, and October. Now we serve those 4 times, and we serve a particular way on the first Sunday of every quarter. And then we also have 2 special times when we serve. And one is on Monday, Thursday, that's Holy Week on Thursday night. And then we do also Christmas Eve communion here at the church. So thank you again for being part of communion, and let me encourage you to sign up. Now, one of the processes that we want to do is have a sign-up sheet to know who's serving next. And if this is the first time for you to serve, then I encourage you to sign up with somebody that has some experience until you're comfortable enough that somebody else may want to sign up with you. So what we do on the first Sunday of each quarter, we're going to deal with the main ones first. So this will be January and April, July and October. On the first Sunday of each quarter, whatever time you signed up for, then normally we would serve communion bread and wine. Let's walk over here and let me show you where the bread normally is. So we're in the kitchen and we've gone back to the pantry, and as you come back here you'll find bread frozen, and you'll find some matzo bread, and here's another box unopened bread. So remember that we usually have that in pretty good supply, but the grape juice probably has to be bought new each time, and if there's any left, it's probably old. So we want you to have brand new juice, and you can go to Food City with our little credit card and get that, or you can ask who will pick that up for you so that it will be fresh in here. So you bring the elements here. The only other element that I know you need, that's not in this cabinet over here, is going to be a bunch of red grapes, purple grapes. So what we have done in the last 5 years is we've had a silver chalice and a silver plate, and we've not done grapes. So I changed that up this year. This is 2023, and we're going to use a pottery cup and a bunch of red grapes. I don't mean a lot, I mean a bunch, one bunch. You might have 20 on the vine or something like that, to lay in front of the cup. And then we'll have a plate, and we'll have a piece of matzo bread that I just showed you in there, something that's easy to snap and break when we're offering the communion elements. So now that you have prearranged and gotten the bread, the juice and supply, and you're ready to come to church, probably on Saturday unless you're an early riser and want to do it on Sunday. So you come into the kitchen and you'll find cabinets that are marked communion supplies. And as you see communion supplies, they're in here in protective covers. You want to take these out and see what you need to use. So we'll start with this, see if it'll give us what we want. If not, we'll keep digging. All right, so there are plates with a lid, and looks like we have another plate. They stack, and here we have a plate that we're not using right now. That's a silver plate for bread for me to break. We're going to use pottery for that. And then here are some communion cup trays. Same thing, not something we're using right now. So we're using these trays. There's 2. Here's 3. And you'll find down here about 5 trays and about 5 plates, and there'll be a lid for both of these. And what we want you to do is realize the number of people we're serving. Now, you'll find cups down here as well. You take the cups out, they were washed the last time, so you might rinse them, or if they're properly sealed, you might not have to do anything but put them out. And you'll want to put out 40 is what each one of these trays holds. Now, last time we did communion, which was April the 2nd, we had 120 fixed. So 40, 80, 120. We ran down to about 10 or 12 left. So it's a little bit tight. So probably what we'll do next time is have you fix 150. You always get that number from me, and I'll let you know, because, for example, our next time is July 1st, and I might tell you I think 120 is more than enough. But if it ends up being on Easter like it practically was this time, I might say we need 150. But to be safe, next time we'll prepare a little bit more. Rather have more than too little. So next time we will have 4 trays. We'll get full tray, full tray, full tray, and then just put 20 in the other tray. And if you aren't sure about that and you want to spread it up to 30 each tray, you can do that, but then that's a lot more counting. So whatever you want to do, but I think we go toward having more. And then I just need 3 of these. The reason is because of the hands that serve it. The 4th tray is there in case we run out of cups, but 3 trays should be plenty. We need 50 pieces in each tray. That's 150 that we can serve. All right. So each tray, and then you put in the bread, stack them up, and there's a 4th tray that we don't need. We'll put that back underneath. And so we have 3 trays, 4 trays, 150, 150, and we're ready to serve. Now, what we want to set out is the pottery, and so we will set this out in one of these plates. I think this is fine for the quarterly, because what I want is I want a piece of matzo bread. And feel free when you pull it out of the box to go ahead and break it and put 2 pieces here if you want to. The symbolism is that when I repeat, do the consecration of the communion, I'll take, and when the Lord took the bread, He blessed it and broke it, and we'll snap it, and I'll put it back here. And then the cup would have enough juice in there, not to be demonstrative with it on our quarterly, but so that there's juice in there. The elements will all be served out of the bread trays and the communion trays. So this has a top. This already has a top on it. And the way it is set up is that if you're doing it on Saturday night, then you'll want to put this in the refrigerator and leave it in there Saturday night. Don't set it out Saturday night for it to set out all night. On Sunday, if you set it out before Sunday school, then you want to cover it with a white cloth. Now, Katie's filming this for me. Katie, let's walk over here so everyone's familiar with our closet. And here you can find a white cloth to cover the table. Okay? Now, in the event that you're serving it after Sunday school, before church, you don't have to cover it. And if you want to ask me if you should cover it, then I'll tell you my opinion. My opinion is usually going to be the same, and that is, it depends on the activities that are going on. If we're moving from Sunday school and there's a time of fellowship, and then we're going straight into church, I don't think it has to be covered. However, if we have something unusual happening in the service, that we want to keep it sacred and holy, then I might have it covered. And I can't even think what that might be right now. Maybe we had a drama taking place. Something to take the attention off communion, so that once it's uncovered, the attention and focus on the communion table is the communion itself. All right, so you set this out on Sunday morning, and this is to be our communion table. Now, you know we don't have an altar. What we have in our traditions is a communion table. I'll make sure that the offering plates are not on there. There shouldn't be anything on there except for the communion. And when you set it up, I like the communion cups to be on the left. I like the plates to be on the right. And then I like this to be in the middle. Now, normally it'd be side by side, but we don't have as much room there, so I'm going to put it like this, which is not a problem to do it like that. You want it to look orderly and proper. And this is the way it would be for me to serve everyone. Now you can relax, except for one small thing, and that is our self-contained and a couple of baskets. So let's see if they're down here too. So we have 3 boxes, probably 300 of these, and there's one that was left from last time. And what we want is, during COVID, of course, we served communion with this so people didn't want to pass the tray. So what we're doing now is we're actually putting these out and making them available by the door for people that might want to do this, and we're not making it a requirement to do it this way or that way. It's just optional. Last time we had communion, I saw very few take it this way. But you can refill the box and put some new ones in there, and probably keep about 20 or 30 in there on a Sunday that we're doing communion. Okay. Then you'll do one more thing while we're in the fellowship hall. Now this won't happen when we go into the back into the sanctuary, because in the sanctuary we have communion cup holders that we can put the cup in when we're through with it. But what do we do with it in the fellowship hall? Well, it's a problem. We don't want people to clack it around and carry it around or spill juice on themselves on the floor. So what we did this last time, which was effective, I think, we had the acolytes pass baskets. And so we'll ask you to put a cloth in the bottom, because last time they leaked, we have napkins or paper towels or a cloth in the bottom. And then get these up there close to where the acolytes sit. And after the elders serve the communion, the acolytes will pass the baskets to collect the cups. Now, when they've collected the cups, they'll come back here and set them down. And when the service is over, let there be a pause of people visiting and fellowshipping, and so that it would be appropriate. We don't want it to be like going out to eat and somebody clearing the table too fast. We want to actually make it a proper time, and then go take the tray down there. The rolling tray is the easiest thing to do, and put the stuff on the tray and bring it back here, wash the dishes, dry them, and put them right back in those red cloth protectors, and put them up, and then they're ready for the next time. Okay? Questions? Well, yes, of course. You want to know about the times we do special communion. Okay, on Maundy Thursday and on Christmas Eve, we usually do it by intinction. Now, intinction is where we have bread, and usually we'll get a bigger plate for that. And intinction is where we have bread, and people come forward and tear off a part of the bread, dip it into the wine, and then take it. Now, that's something we do at Maundy Thursday. That's something we do during Christmas Eve. What I want you to do is, we tried this last time and it was effective, and that is, I want you to cut it. Get some bread, and it doesn't matter if it's leavened or unleavened. It doesn't matter if it's square, rectangle, round. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's sweet, not sweet, sourdough. It doesn't matter. Get some bread, and I want you to cut off squares that are maybe inch squares that people can pick up without having to grab the bread and tear off a piece, because it never tears right. Some people get big pieces, some get little tiny pieces. You know what they do with tiny pieces? They stick their fingers in the wine. So what we want is we want uniform pieces, and we want about 50 prepared for Maundy Thursday. If you're doing Christmas Eve, I want 100. And fill this to the top, not to the top where you can't roll it, but maybe within a ½ inch to an inch of the top. You can even practice by taking bread and dipping and seeing how full you need it to be to practice. Leave all the extra bread here. If I have 125 on Christmas Eve, and we only have cut 100 pieces, I gotta have something for them to tear off and get. Same thing for Maundy Thursday. Okay. Now when you're done with that, same thing. After appropriate time of the service is over, take it back in here, wash the dishes, put it up. And then one of the most important things in the sacrament of making it holy and special and sanctified is that when we're through with communion, it's not suitable for the drain or trash receptacle. All the bread that's left over goes on the ground outside, or you can eat it. I had a minister friend of mine when I was in school that used to encourage kids to come up and take communion, and after it was over, eat all the bread. And then you may have been to churches where the minister drank all the wine that was left. Well, fortunately, it's not wine, and so nobody's going to get drunk on that, but you're welcome to drink it, you're welcome to eat it, but don't throw it away in normal fashion. Take it outside, toss it on the ground, we'll let the birds of the air take it, and the wine, the juice go back to the earth. That's all I can think of right now, but if you have questions, see me or see somebody that's more experienced in this than you are, and soon you'll be the one that everybody is asking questions of. We appreciate you serving in this very important ministry, and thank you again for being